What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your host, MA Heat Vlog Spot. Another episode with you coming today. Today's August 14th. The Heat played the Pacers just a little while ago. This is the recap episode. Some good, some bad, some ugly. It is what it is, but this is the team we'll be playing in the first round. Today's game wasn't even a preview. It was more of a tune-up, warm-up for players who haven't even been playing too much this whole time. But we'll get into it. So today, Heat played the Pacers. We end up losing 109-92. Before we get into that, let me say that both teams weren't bringing their A game, weren't bringing their best players. This is strictly, I guess, if anything, this is a game for players that weren't playing, that were more the bench and bench warmers, that they have an opportunity to show their coach, like, there's an injury, if there's minutes that need to be spread around more, or someone's not playing to their potential, that they could possibly come in and do the job. So for the Heat, for me, that's Kendrick Nunn, because he hasn't been playing very well. That's, Miles Leonard, because he got taken out of the rotation pretty much. Chris Silva, because you never know. Solomon Hill, because you never know as well. Injuries. We just saw Jay Crowder went down. We're not really sure what's happening with him. We ended up having another injury in this game, a very serious one, it looks like. So I'll get into that at that moment, but let's not jump too far ahead. And here we go. The Miami Heat and the Pacers will be playing each other in the first round. We knew that back 2 days ago. But now we do know that since the Pacers won today, they are going to be hosting the first two games. And they're not really hosting because everyone's in this bubble. But their first two games against us will have all their stuff. And then the next two games after that will have our stuff. Just like any regular playoff sequence, it'll be 2-2, 1-1-1, with the Pacers having the home court advantage. But we're so evenly matched in a sense with this team, and that doesn't really matter, and the bubble doesn't matter. And it looked like Coach Spo and the players weren't really worried about it. So since they weren't worried about it, I'm not going to worry about it. So we move forward from that. If you guys are watching on YouTube, behind me is the schedule for the playoffs, as we finally figured out that the NBA released it. And I want to give a shout out to the Heat organization for their playoff theme. It's United in Black. Of course, they've been huge advocates in the Black Lives Matter movement and social injustice. And that's another thing I just love about this team, that they're being vocal, they're not being silent, and they're trying to help us as best they can while they're trying to play this game. And it's just good to see. It's good to support that. And I'm for me, this Heat culture, as you can see in my shirt, this Heat culture just speaks loudly, on and off the court. And that's awesome. I don't see any other team doing this. I don't know any other team doing this. I'm not checking any other teams that are doing this. I don't follow other teams as much as the Heat. So I don't, but for what I know, the Heat are 100% behind this movement, and they're helping out as much as they can. And all I can do is support them. So United in Black, that's an awesome theme, guys. Keep it up. I'm going to be wearing black for all the games now. Most likely this shirt, my personalized jersey, my Chris Bosh jersey is black, my LeBron James jersey is black. Probably won't wear that one right though. But I got a D Wade shirt that's black. So I'm ready. I'm prepared. If you guys don't got your stuff, get your stuff ready. It's going to be a crazy playoffs. Can't wait. So, let you guys know what the schedule is, though. It's going to be Tuesday, August 18th, is our first matchup against them at 4 p.m. on TNT. Of course, all games will still be on Fox Sports, so if you guys are local Miami, South Florida guys and gals, you guys can still watch on Fox Sports. Unfortunately, I'm no longer located in South Florida, so I will have to watch all these games through national television. So I'll be watching it on TNT. That's game one. Game two, Thursday, 2 days later, August 20th, at 1 p.m. on ESPN. And right now I'm getting the vibe that the NBA doesn't think that we're really a marquee matchup or anything like that. And I agree with them compared to all the other first rounds, the potential Lakers versus Blazers and the Sixers versus Celtics. Those games are going to be a lot more bigger and more, the media will be following those teams more. So totally cool with me. and I get to do my job earlier. I get to make these videos early for you guys, and I don't have to stay up so late. So all good for me. Game 3 will be Saturday, August 22nd at 3:30 on TNT. And then Monday, Game 4, which I do believe we will sweep the Pacers, August 24th, 6:30 p.m. on TNT. Of course, if games are needed after that, Wednesday, August 26th, but to be determined on time. All depends on what other series are going on. Friday, August 28th will be Game 6, and then if necessary, Game 7 will be Sunday, August 30th. And again, those games 5 through 7 are to be determined. They are to be determined, just simply because only God or somebody knows what's going to happen. I do believe we're going to sweep them. I'm not going to get too much into the series in this episode. I'm going to stick more to what happened today in the game, because I do plan on Sunday releasing an episode previewing and going through the Pacers roster and going through our roster and trying to predict what's going to happen. So stay tuned for that. Keep in touch. All right, guys. Moving forward. Boom. Oh, I hit another button. There you go. Today's starting lineup, because of no Jimmy, no Bam, no Dragic, no Jay, no Gabe Vincent, no Iggy, we ended up starting Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Udonis Haslem, the captain, the old man, the guy on the team started, and KO, which was good to see. Honestly, I kind of like this starting lineup. I was kind of surprised with UD. I thought I was going to see Chris Silva starting the lineup. I just thought he would have brought an engine to that starting lineup, which we did not have. And I just thought that Spo was going to sit Haslem. I thought Haslem was just going to be this 15th coach, whatever you want to call it. Just another coach that's wearing a jersey, and he's not going to play at all. But he did play today. He didn't look too bad. A lot of rest on him. But it was good to see, UD out there. He's a legend. And don't be surprised if he goes and try to be the first player in Heat history to have 20 seasons with the Heat and be the only player that was with the Heat from the beginning to the end for 20 years, 20 seasons. Don't be surprised, because I see he can do that. He came in 2003 with D Wade, so he's got about 3 more seasons. And I can't see Pat Riley, taking it away from him. If UD wants to do that, I don't think. And he's gonna work hard. He keeps working hard. Today he did some athletic moves. He actually showed some that he still has fuel in the tank, and I was impressed. So it was good. Just to mention on the Indiana side, Indiana did not have Miles Turner playing. Did not have T.J. Warren playing. T.J. Warren has actually just been diagnosed with plantar fasciitis, which is the band under your foot taking too much pressure. Apparently, it's not a big deal to them. He's been dealing with it on and off the whole season, apparently. So they expect him to play, but he took the night off. Victor Oladipo didn't play. And as always, Sabonis wasn't playing, and Jeremy Lamb, they're not in the bubble, so they're not going to play at all. Surprisingly, Malcolm Brogdon played, and I would say that Malcolm Brogdon playing made the biggest difference in this game. So going into the first quarter, just for this game, I'm trying to look at Kendrick Nunn, because we know Tyler Hero was bringing it, we know KO was bringing it, we know Duncan has been bringing it. So if anything, they're just out there to keep sweating and keep running and we only have so many players, so we can't play 7 guys that haven't played at all together as much as possible tonight. That would just be crazy, and that's really having a risk for injury. So today I was trying to focus on Kendrick Nunn, and big reason why is because I have not been impressed with Kendrick Nunn since the bubble started. I know he came in late. Yes, he was quarantined. He had COVID, and he had to come in late with Bam, and he just hasn't looked good at all to me. It's been sloppy. Defense has been shady, and I don't know. I just haven't seen enough for me to justify that he's gonna pick it up. And I'll continue why in a little bit. But this first quarter was basically a battle between Kendrick Nunn and Malcolm Brogdon, and Malcolm Brogdon won this battle because he's a veteran and he knew what to do. He was keeping the pace for the Pacers. And basically, that's what we lost. We lost the first quarter, and that's how we lost this game. And I don't know why that happened. If you watch on YouTube, you just saw the screen behind me switch for some reason, but switched it back. And, I think Spo was testing Kendrick Nunn as well, and just see what he was going to do and see if he still has that firepower on offense at least. He needs to catch fire, but he wasn't bringing it. Tyler Hero started next to him, but Tyler Hero, everybody on the team was deferring to Kendrick Nunn, because I think the game plan really was, Kendrick, get started. Like, this is for you to warm up and get in the mood, because we're going to need you in a couple of days against the Pacers again, and against the real Pacers. And this is what's concerning about me. Like, their starting lineup, their team today was bench warmers. Like, these are the guys that are not going to play 30 minutes, and he was struggling today, especially early on, and it's really a cause for concern. And if you guys really already know, I've been saying, like, don't be surprised if this guy ends up being taken out of the rotation. Now, injuries are going to play differently to that, and maybe Spo needs to play him, because we don't have a lot of guards in our team, and Solomon Hill hasn't been the greatest, and Gabe Vincent hasn't been the greatest either. But we really need Kendrick to step it up. Derrick Jones actually played, and he comes in to relieve Duncan Robinson. This is a game where Duncan Robinson didn't do anything. This is a game where KO didn't do anything. This is a game where Haslam was playing, but he didn't really do anything. All the guys that you've been hearing me say stuff throughout this whole restart did not play, basically, or was a non-factor. So we put all these bench guys in, and our offense is just ugly. There's no playmaking. We take Kendrick out to have Tyler Hero have the ball, and unfortunately, it just still, they were gunning. Their scouting report and the coaching job by Nate McMillan was, now I'm thinking about it, it was very, very well made, because they were all on the same page. They knew who to attack. They knew who our playmakers were, and as soon as they took that guy out of rhythm, whether it was Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero, or Duncan Robinson, we were scrambling for like chickens with our heads off, because we looked terrible on offense. There was no ball movement, or there actually was a lot of ball movement, but because anybody who got the ball really was not a playmaker, so they'll get the ball and then either fumble it, or the shot clock's winding down, so we take a bad shot, and it was just ugly. So that quarter ends, and we only scored 13 points in the first quarter. That's how ugly it was. We only scored 13 points, 1 of 9 from 3-point land. Pacers had 28 points. It wasn't even that much. Again, we're playing their bench, but because of Malcolm Brogdon just being that veteran, having that savviness, and honestly taking Kendrick to school, they went on a 22-6 run to end the quarter. 22-6 run. Our defense wasn't even there, and usually, our team plays with great defense, and it just wasn't there. And I think, honestly, early on, you can just see that the Heat just did not really care about this game one way or the other. If we were gonna win, we won. If we lose, we lose. It is what it is, which is kind of disappointing on my end. I honestly feel like that's our culture is about, we're here to win. We're here to do this. We're here to do that. And I know we gotta stay healthy, but this could have been a message. This could have been a message to the Pacers, saying, you guys haven't beat us once this whole year. And this last game, we didn't have our stars. I know you didn't have your stars, but you did play Malcolm Brogdon, and boom, we still beat you. We could have had all that smoke going in and having those first 2 games with all our stuff, and maybe we would have went Vice on it. Well, we're doing black, United in black, but maybe we still would have done the Vice colors or whatever, and just get in their heads more. Now with this, because now I'm about to talk about the second quarter, like the Pacers bench and their coaches and everybody they were loud the whole game. I felt like there's a lot of people watching the game, because you just heard that bench yelling and screaming. Everything they were doing, there was someone clapping and yelling at them, defense or offense. And it was totally the opposite on the Heat side. You barely heard anything, unless we did something amazing, like Derrick Jones Jr. gets a dunk, or we make a crazy shot because the clock's going down, whatever the case may be. Our bench was yelling, but other than that, we were looking sloppy. So again, going in that second quarter though, Pacers bench is going loud. Their defense gets even more intense, and you could just tell they wanted it more. And if you guys are not noticing by now, like, I'm telling you guys, you don't have to watch this game at all. Like, just listen to me. It's all you need to listen to. Don't watch it. It's ugly. There's nothing good about it. There's not really a silver lining other than, you know, I did say it was good, ugly, and bad. I'll get some good. But it wasn't good so far. So TJ McConnell in this quarter really gets in the head of Kendrick at one point, and you can tell, like, I'm telling you, the scouting report was really in his head, and just getting to him. You know, he did clap back, hit a three in his face, and you know, it kind of lit a fire up his ass a little bit, which was good to see. But Kendrick was just so inefficient and out of place and looking out of whack, and yeah, it was a long night for Kendrick. I bet it was a long night for Kendrick. Chris Silva came in. You know, he's looking good, looking like a solid player. Now I want to talk about Solomon Hill, the man behind me, as you can see in the screen. He does not have the prettiest game. He's not the most talented player, but today he did play aggressive. He was very aggressive. He ended up with 21 points, you know, but a lot of it came from this quarter because he noticed that we were doing nothing. And he knew the game plan was about Kendrick getting the ball. He knew if Kendrick was out, Tyler Hero wasn't going to get the ball. And none of those guys at this moment were really playing hard. So Solomon Hill at this point says, we're down. We're playing like shit. And he's going to take the ball. So you know what? Even though he was a little inefficient, he was being aggressive though, which he was being what Kendrick should have been. This is Solomon Hill in this game. If you do end up watching the game, or you did watch the game, that's what I wanted Kendrick to be. Kendrick did end up scoring 23 points, but it was through bad shooting and just because he took so many shots. That's all. Solomon Hill went to the line 6 times. He shot 20 to 12 from the free throw line. That's how you know you're being aggressive. That's how you know, even if you're not going to take the three, you're going to take someone off the dribble, and you're going to take it strong to the basket, and you're going to either make a layup or you're going to get hit and go to the free throw lines and make your shots. And that's what I think we needed to see from Kendrick, because that's really what Kendrick needs to do for his next evolution step. You know, I talk about everybody else. The way Kendrick plays, to me, he's going to end up being Jamal Crawford or Lou Williams, which those guys are great. Don't get me wrong. They're great players. I would love to have them on our team. But they were only bench players, 6 men. They're not starters, not starter material, because 1, they don't play great defense, and 2, they thrive more off of playing against the second unit, not the first unit, because the second unit tends to have defenders that aren't as great as the first unit, right? And right now, Kendrick Nunn's going that way, but Solomon Hill played exactly how I wanted Kendrick Nunn to play. He was hitting threes, being aggressive, going up. Even with all that, we end up at halftime down 14, 44-58, and you could just see we were missing. That's not we're missing, because you know they're out, but this is when you know how important Dragic, Bam, and Jimmy are to our offense. Like, just setting up our offense, just being the point guards. Because even though Bam and Jimmy aren't point guards traditionally, they are our point guards. They do set up our plays. The ball goes through them. They make everything's going through them. So we got to make sure everything's going well in return. And I mean, it was just ugly. It was an opportunity. And Spo said it during the game. This was an opportunity for the young players, especially, and a lot of focus was on Kendrick Nunn. Even during the conferences, I'm watching it on ESPN. You know, even the announcers are talking about him, about Kendrick Nunn, like, you know, this kid's gonna be something. But he just laid an egg. You know, this was the game. It's just frustrating, because I know a lot of people like Kendrick Nunn. I know that, and I like him too. Like, seriously, surprised me and helped my fantasy team for a little bit until I released him. I made it up though. Don't worry about that. But until I released him, it is what it is. Because I had Dragic on my fantasy team too, and for me, Dragic was just better for my fantasy team. But he's great. He's been a great surprise. Some halftime notes. You know, Kendrick Nunn at this point had 10 points, only 1 assist, and only 1 steal. He was 3 of 12 from the field. That's 25%. That's how inefficient he was. Like, he really was killing us, especially in that first quarter where we needed him to step it up and be the guy. But laid an egg. You know, Solomon Hill at this point had 15 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 of 8 shooting. I mean, 50% shooting. The guy was doing what Kendrick should have been doing. And right now, Tyler Hero doesn't have any points because Tyler was deferring to these guys. Tyler was letting them do their thing because Tyler has been hot, and I'm sure Spo was just like, dude, I'm not worried about you right now. You're good. As a team, we're at 35% shooting at the half, 22% from the 3-point line. We only had 8 assists. It's, that tells you right there, no playmaking. And, I think another thing we missed was Iggy. Iggy is, over 35. I think he's 36 now. So he wasn't going to play. And that's another important thing about Iggy coming off the bench. Just giving us another playmaker, another smart player, making good plays, and can do a little bit of everything. So another reason why Iggy's so good and why he's so important to our team. Now, going to the third quarter, this is where Tyler Hero starts to step it up. Especially because this is where Duncan Robinson doesn't even play again. To start the third quarter, Duncan Robinson comes out, Solomon Hill comes in, Tyler Hero heats up. Ends up getting 16 points in this quarter, and he just shows all of it. Shows all his moves, does all the good stuff. He does the step back, he does the threes, he takes it up. He's making smart plays, on both ends really, and even on defense he was playing smart. That's if you want to watch a little bit of the game, watch Tyler Hero in the third quarter. Now, that's my Tyler Hero thing. I'm not gonna go into it because I've been talking about Tyler Hero too much. Now, this is where the game sucks, and there's a big delay because of this. Unfortunately, Derrick Jones Jr. was chasing a man. Pretty sure he was chasing Brogdon, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he was chasing Brogdon. He was coming off 2 screens. The second screen, Goga Bizdel, or let me see his name again. Pitadze, whatever his name is. He ends up running into Derrick Jones runs into his shoulder because Pitadze when he does a moving pick basically. He does a moving pick towards leaning left while Derrick Jones is going around. His shoulder nails Derrick Jones Jr. in the face, and then his shoulder, it's a little bit of his face, but mostly in his shoulder and his neck area. Like Derrick Jones' neck goes up a little bit, and Derrick Jones just ends up falling flat. Not flat, not like oh crap, like this guy just died flat, but he just ends up falling and he doesn't get back up. At first, he's just took a hard hit. Maybe the wind got knocked out of him. Hit his chest, whatever it is. But it took a while, and he was grabbing his neck. And for a while there, I didn't see him move his arms or his legs. And I thought we just saw someone got paralyzed, and to see our slam dunk champion of this year, get paralyzed in the bubble game that didn't even matter really. The Pacers player, Bitadze, whatever, definitely looked, concerned. He didn't, I don't think he meant to do it, and he definitely played differently the rest of the game. I just noticed that he was not playing as hard as he was before that, and nobody was. This took the wind out of the game because it took so long for him to get out. He had to be stretched out the court. They had to call a stretcher. They put a neck brace on him. They were very careful with him. They moved him inch by inch, basically, making sure that they don't move his neck too much because they don't know how serious it is. And honestly, right now, I'm keeping an eye on Twitter because, I think the Heat just breakdown right here. I think we just got a release by the Heat. Give me a second. Breaking news. Let's see. Because I know this is it was bad, guys. It was very, very scary, honestly. Yeah, and I just hope he's okay. Let's see here. Why did it just go away? Let me see, guys. Sorry. All right. Actually, no. Okay. So, let's say he's getting a X-ray scan or getting an MRI. He's getting some type of scan to check on it. Thanks for waiting with me, guys. I'm just concerned. Honestly, I was praying for him right now because neck injuries are no joke, and he was definitely grabbing his neck. luckily, Jay Sable, our trainer for the Heat, he was telling him to move his arms, move his legs. He was moving them. You know, it didn't look like he was having trouble moving them, but he was definitely in pain. He did not want to move. He didn't want to. He looked scared for his life a little bit. But the good news is that his arms and legs were moving. That's a good sign. And you know, hopefully, he just ends up, you know, getting healthy from this. I just hope the best for him because he's a hard worker. The kid definitely works hard. He was been a big surprise for us in Heat Nation. You know, won the slam dunk contest, you know, just this year, and it'll just suck that in a game that did not matter, that, you know, this is the end of his career, end of all those highlights, you know, for this to happen like this, like it just sucks. And then if I want to talk about it in the Heat, in our bench, in our Heat sense, that's if Jay Crowder goes down, if Iggy goes down, if any of our bigs go down, Derrick Jones Jr. is going to be the next man up. So this opens up an opportunity to Myers Leonard. It opens up an opportunity to Chris Silva. Opens up an opportunity to Solomon Hill maybe. And, you know, I'll even say Kyle Alexander, who actually did play in the fourth quarter. This is an opportunity, and please, guys, if you guys can, send some love to Derrick Jones Jr. Hopefully he's okay. But I think this is a big thing, you know, and it changed the whole game. But in the big picture, this definitely affects us a lot, and I just hope that he ends up being okay, because you know, I don't think he's a bad guy. Looks like a good guy. So definitely the game kept going. There's only a couple more minutes left in the third, and you could just tell it just knocked the wind out of the whole place. Everyone was being more cautious, and you know, we just went into the fourth quarter, being down 14 again, 70-84. And to this time, like the last two quarters, second and third quarter, we were pretty much matching whatever the Pacers were scoring, or whatever, or we scored more than them by one. But you know, that just shows that we definitely lost a game in the first quarter. We just didn't play hard enough, and we just didn't play smart enough, and the Pacers did, and they just ran with it. You know, they just had to stay consistent. They just had to match us point for point, and they were gonna win. So going to the fourth, down 70-84, fourth quarter now. Kendrick Nunn now starts to be aggressive. This is when Kendrick Nunn decides to be the guy that we all thought he was going to be in since the first quarter. So he did it. You know, he did. You know, I think also the Pacers he pissed him off. I think a little bit. You know, everything mashed up together, I think changed this game for him. Like the Derrick Jones Jr. going out, I'm pretty sure Coach Spo was getting on him a little bit, and the Pacers players were getting on him. So I think this is when he starts to be a little more aggressive, make some more points. You know, he ends up with 23 points, but he shoots 8 for 27. That's 30%. You know, 30% from the field. 8 of 27. He took 27 shots, guys. 27, and only made 8. Terrible. 9 of those shots were threes. Only made 1. That's 11%. He only went to line 3 times. He made all his free throws, but. And see, this is what I'm saying. He has limitations to this game. He can't create for himself, really. He creates for others sometimes, but definitely did not do it this game. So, and he has a hard time, you know, going to the free throw line, which Tyler Hero is evolved. Right now, I think Tyler Hero is way past Kendrick Nunn, and I'd rather start Tyler Hero than Kendrick Nunn. Of course, if they end up seeing that, I don't be surprised, guys, if Tyler Hero or Dragic ends up starting in the first game of the playoffs against the Pacers, because I don't think Kendrick Nunn did enough in this game. And Spo, you know, I'm sure Spo's like, you know, I know you have rest. I know you didn't play the last couple of games because you had to quarantine again, whatever. But at some point, you just need to come ready and correct, because we can't wait for you, especially if we start losing. We just can't wait. So, Kendrick, dude, start waking up. Come up. Let's go. So Kyle Alexander, as I said, he made a sighting, didn't do much. Just he was there, he played, he got some minutes in, and Solomon Hill, you know, ends up scoring 21 points, 5 of 13 shooting, 10 of 12 in the free throw line. I'd probably say he was our other big highlight of that. But I mean, we ended up losing the game 92-109, and it was just lackluster. Another thing to point out about Kendrick Nunn is -21. efficiency. He just wasn't doing it, guys. I hope I'm wrong. I know a lot of you. I know a lot of Heat Nation loves this guy and sees this guy as like a steal. But you have to remember that he's an old rookie. He's 24, 25. Most rookies are 20. And compared to Tyler Hero, Tyler's 20 years old. He's 25. He's been in the G League a couple of years. He played 4 years in college. I mean, the guy has experience, and now he's winning all this stuff. So he's not going to be a starter. I don't think he's a starter for most teams in this league. I think he's Tyler Johnson. Okay, best way I can do this is that he reminds me of Tyler Johnson. Okay, Tyler Johnson, we all thought like, oh, we stole this kid. He's awesome, blah, 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 blah. We give him that big contract, right? We all were like, oh, maybe it's bad. Maybe it ends up being good. Hopefully it ends up being good. And I don't want to run into that again. Do we want to run into another Tyler Johnson problem where we pay this guy and then he ends up being a dud in a sense? Like he doesn't end up progressing the way we hoped he progressed? And that's what I'm worried about. And I don't want that. So I'm hoping that, that Spo ends up using Kendrick the right way, which to me, the right way would be he comes off the bench, he picks his spots. He's a very streaky guy too. He's a very burst fire kind of shooter, kind of offense that he brings. He'll burst here for a couple minutes and boom, 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 hit a couple of threes or hit a couple of shots, blah, 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 blah. And that's great and all. But I don't think we need that starting. I think we need to make sure that each game is started the best we can. We got to take control of every game in the beginning. We cannot give the Pacers any light. And that's why I'm making the case that Kendrick Nunn should not start against the Pacers. Should not start until we need him to start. And right now, I think Tyler Hero and especially Dragic should be starting ahead of him because they have been doing playmaking better, a whole lot better than he has, and playing better defense. And I just feel like they're more in the zone than Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick Nunn is not in the zone like them. So, sorry, Kendrick Nunn fans. If you feel bad, feel upset about what I'm saying, like I'm sorry, but I don't, and I just want to make sure we get off I don't want to, what suck? If we lose the first round, we lose whatever, and then all you guys, and I'm saying like Kendrick Nunn, didn't do much. I'm like, yeah, I know, I told you guys, and if I didn't tell you guys, then I would feel bad if I didn't. So, I just got to let it out. I just got to let you guys know, I've been watching this game forever. If you really know me, you know that this is all I do. I watch basketball, I analyze it, I do all this stuff, and I play the game, and I'm a vibe player. Like I just vibe off of things, and the vibe I'm getting from him is just like, I think he's reached his peak. He just reached the peak, and we just gotta now play to his strengths. And his strengths, I think, are gonna be best utilized off the bench, where he can play those second unit guys and not have to worry about too many people coming at him. So, boom. That's pretty much in a nutshell. Heat versus Pacers today. Yes, we lose. Yes, we don't get home court advantage. I guess it doesn't really matter, right? It is what it is. But it just, we'll see, guys. We'll see. So, to let you guys remind you guys, playoffs are starting on Monday. Miami versus Indiana starts on Tuesday, though. Don't forget, Tuesday, August 18th at 4 p.m. on TNT. Don't forget. All right, guys. And I remember, every other day after that, it's another Heat game. It's another Heat game. It's another Heat game. The playoffs are going to move fast and strong, and now it's going to be a roller coaster type of weeks for us. Hopefully, we just keep going up. If we win, we win. We just keep going up. But if we lose, but don't worry about that, guys. Look out for my episode on Sunday. Sunday, I'm gonna preview everything, talk a little bit deeper into all the teams, both teams, everything, good, bad, ugly again. And please pray for Derrick Jones Jr. Hopefully he's doing all right and he's doing well. All right, guys. Well, now you know I'm on YouTube. You might be watching on YouTube. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to follow. Right behind you, you see all the other medias we are in. I'm on Facebook, Twitter. Just look for Heat Vlog Spot. Spotify, look for Heat Vlog Spot. Anchor.fm, look for Heat Vlog Spot. Also Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Public Podcasts. You can't see it on the screen, but it's hiding in the corner. Breaker Podcast, if you use Breaker. Overcast Podcast. And Pocket Cast. I'm on all these. So no matter what you got, I'm on it most likely. Just keep liking, keep following. Please, I like it. Please. All right. Sorry, guys. Right now, I'm just thinking about Derrick Jones Jr. So if you guys can, please send praise to Derrick Jones. We'll be all right. Sunday, see you guys then. Tuesday's our first matchup. Let's go, Heat Nation. Here we go. Heat culture is in the playoffs. We're back, and we're going to make some noise. Peace, guys. I hope you guys have a great night.